Hi guys, how are you doing? How is your day? Or how's your day been so far? How are you doing? Been a tough one. If you're alive in this period, just know that God is merciful. These are interesting times. The title of today's message, excuse my voice been hoarse for a couple of days now. The title of today's message is, there are going to be punishments. The title of today's message is, we lack discipline in Naija. Discipline is counter-cultural. Discipline is counter-cultural. What does counter-cultural mean, you? What does counter-cultural mean? Huh? What about you? Counter-cultural.
Something that is lacked majorly.
Something that is lacked majorly. Something that doesn't.
I think it's something that wants to oppose the actual cultural traditions.
Something that opposes
The cultural tradition.
the cultural traditions. Let's go to Google. Please study counterculture or countercultural. A way or set of life of attitudes opposed to or at variance with prevailing social norms. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for the gift of today. I thank you for the fact that we're gathering in your name. I thank you for your grace, your light, and your mercy upon our lives. And I hand over this generation, this nation, these people, this church to you. Guide us, O Lord. In Yahushua's name I pray. Amen. Amen. We're having a bit of trouble on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know what the feed is like. If you are watching on YouTube, okay, no wonder the feed is, oh wow, it's okay now. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, can you hear? Drop your comments, let me know if you're watching. It's fine on YouTube, awesome then. You see, the culture of Nigerians is different from our norms. It has become a norm in Nigeria today for women to marry as non-virgins. Right? It has become a norm. So a virgin getting married is almost beginning to seem as counter-cultural, because it goes against what we expect. You would even hear some men saying, I can't deal with the drama. You look for it. Thank you. It wasn't the dustbin the other day.
Jesus
Give it to me. Thank you. It is almost countercultural to exhibit some traits in today's Nigeria and even Africa as a whole, especially with regards to discipline. Let me bring Ada. Ada is supposed to read scripture for us today. I don't know if she's available yet. Because we're going to do this scripturally and then we're going to talk to one another. We're going to talk to one another. God bless you, my darling sister.
Yes.
Good afternoon, my darling.
That's enough.
I want us to start, please mute. I want us to start with a reading from 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. 2 Timothy.
2 Timothy 1:7.
Yes.
For an elder must lead a blameless life. He must not be arrogant or quick-tempered. He must not be.
2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. Sorry. 2 Timothy. This one.
Oh. 2 Timothy what?
1:7.
Alright, I take that. Okay. 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear or timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline.
God has given us a power of
1:7. God has given us a spirit, has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of
Power.
love, and self-discipline.
dynamios in Greek, please mute, agapes for love, and sophronismo, self-control, a power of self-discipline. I want us to take another reading from Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 11. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 11.
Sorry, I was reading. Okay, 12, 11. So, yeah. No discipline is enjoyable while it's happening. It's painful. But afterward, there will be peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way.
No discipline is enjoyable while it is being received or being given. It's not enjoyable. You guys know I can be a bit of a disciplinarian from time to time, and you don't enjoy the discipline. But it is something that you will benefit from on the long term. I want you to read this same scripture from verse 5 so we can understand verse 11 in proper context.
5. And have you forgotten the encouraging words God spoke to you as his children? He said, "My child, don't make light of the Lord's discipline, and don't give up when he corrects you. For the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes each one he accepts as his child."
Can we take that again? Can we take that again? God disciplines.
For the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes each one he accepts as his child.
And he punishes each one he accepts as his child. Continue.
Okay. As you endure this divine discipline, remember that God is treating you as his own children. Who ever heard of a child who is never disciplined by its father? If God doesn't discipline you as he does all of his children, it means that you are illegitimate and are not really his children at all. Since we respected our earthly fathers who disciplined us, shouldn't we submit even more to the discipline of the Father of our spirits and live forever? For our earthly fathers disciplined us for a few years, doing the best they knew how. But God's discipline is always good for us, so that we might share in His holiness. No discipline is enjoyable while it's happening. It's painful. But afterward, there will be peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way.
Read verse 12.
So take a new grip with your tired hands and strengthen your weak knees.
Take a new grip with your tired hands and your weak knees. You see, discipline. You are nothing without discipline. Power is nothing without control. That is why the more powerful the engine, the more powerful the braking system. In a brand new Ferrari, I think for the last 10 years, you order a Ferrari, they come with ceramic brakes. One brick, one disc is about $5,000. And ceramic shatters. So if you go and carry your Ferrari and go and give vulcanizer and it's removing the tire, and the tire by mistakenly hits the ceramic disc, $5,000. Now. Yeah, go and bring it. Why is it that you would hear about brake systems of 6 caliper, 8 caliper? Because of the power that they are stopping. You cannot go and put Keke Marwa brake inside Ferrari. You will buy. Those brakes that you will match at Lekki toll gate and the car will stop around the Ikoyi bridge. You cannot put those kind of brakes in a performance car. Power is nothing without control. Discipline is the control of your power. I want you to put this down. Tweet this if you may. Discipline is the control of your power. Hey, you. Discipline is the control of your power. Say it, let me hear you.
Discipline is the control of your power.
Usher Raymond used to dance for 12 hours a day at a point. 8 to 12. You see them come, you see Chris Brown come live, and he does like this and he does like this, and all the moves enter, and you are like, wow. He has the talent. The talent is his power, but the time he puts in to hone the talent is the discipline. I remember there was a time in my life, every morning I'll take a flight from maybe on my simulator from maybe Lagos to Abuja. I stopped doing it for about 3 months. The other day I just sat down to do my simulator. I did like 3 go-arounds before I could land in Lagos. Because I stopped that routine. Because before I used to do 1 hour a day just to keep myself fresh. The moment you leave it, you lose it. Ask any piano player, ask any guitarist, ask any lawn tennis player, ask any Formula 1 driver. The amount, most of us here cannot be footballers. We just hear their salary. Hey, 180,000 pounds a week. Hey! Messi, how much was Messi's salary? 63 million. How much is Ronaldo's own? 200 million. You just sit down and hear say, they pay Ronaldo 200 million naira, dollars or pounds. You two go they think and say, man, me too, I can be like Ronaldo. Let me tell you, they carry you into Ronaldo's life. For 2 weeks, you will tell them, please, I want to be poor. I want poverty, please. I can't cope. Some of these people wake up at 4 a.m. Some of them cannot sleep with their spouses when they are training, and that training might be 2 weeks. Their diet is so stringent. Go and eat eba now and go on the pitch. Then you be strolling up and down like Mikel Obi, spitting and strolling. That year when Mikel Obi they play for Nigeria, Mikel Obi go play like 10 minutes and go begin to stroll up and down pitch. Then the whole football team go dey stroll, they follow him. Who remembers? Go and eat pounded yam or laughing.
You just vomit.
Go and eat laughing and pounded yam.
You just vomit in the middle of the process.
And then you want to go and play against Ronaldo.
Real Madrid.
Some of them eat vegetables. If you see what they chop, if you see injections where they take, if you see injuries that these people go through. Someone say, I can never be a footballer. You don't know now. So my whole family will go chop. After we finish our service, we will go chop our food. Then only we go sit down and chop grass. But that is what it takes to be a footballer. Do you know that? Have you seen Formula 1 training? They use their neck to lift weight. Their neck. Because others, like if they carry you inside Formula 1 car and they carry you at top speed through a hairpin, you come out paralyzed from head to toe. Your neck will be broken forever. The G-force is acting on their necks. It's so great that it can snap your neck. It's like those fighter jet pilots. When the plane comes like this, do you know how much training they take to be able to pulling up the nose? It's like you are pulling a house because of the force of gravity. Meanwhile, people go with aeroplane like whoa, 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 whoa. Then you to enter aeroplane one day and want to do whoa. You see, discipline is so important. And the Bible says it, when you're being disciplined, you don't like it. Taste Buds is a chef today, primarily because her mother used to make her cook for the whole house. She hated it. It was stress. It was stress. But today she's benefiting from it. I remember when my father used to send me to the mosque every day. It was stress. But I was able to have an informed understanding of Islam. Today it is useful. Going to the university for me has been useful because I study the society and I understand how the society works. Discipline is never good when the discipline is going on. It's never good. You don't enjoy it. Now let's come to our beautiful country, Nigeria. You see, if you read verse 10 again, read verse 10.
10. For our earthly fathers disciplined us for a few years, doing the best they knew how. But God's discipline is always good for us, so that we might share in His holiness.
That's it. For us to share even in God's holiness, we must be disciplined. You see, sometimes you wonder why they make people pray 1 hour a day. It's just that it's been abused. The essence was discipline. Why do they make you fast? Discipline. It's just that Nigerians have taken it to a whole new world order where if you don't pray for 1 hour a day and if you don't fast, you cannot be blessed. And then there's Elon Musk looking at them doing like this. Even to enjoy God's holiness, you have to set yourself up for some discipline. Let us talk about Nigeria. We are reaping the benefits of our indiscipline. People are crying up and down about election. What did you expect? No. Explain to me. What did you expect? What did you really expect? You expected a beautiful election like they have in the UK, do you people behave like people in the UK behave? No. Let's just talk. You see, the problem is we will plant beans and expect to harvest Rolex watch. That is how ambitious we are. As in, you go into the ground and put bean seeds, and you expect a tree to go out of the ground, and you on the tree you'll be seeing Rolex watch. That's what we expect. What did you expect? I'm laughing at our celebrities. They're crying up and down. The past governments, how many of you were not sponsored by those governments? Your shows were sponsored? I thought, no, let's talk to one another. They dashed you money. You performed for them. How many celebs turned down government performance? How many? Oh, you don't like this particular government, the previous government, okay? How many of you turned down government? How many of you did not go and meet? Oh, I remember Goodluck Jonathan and so many celebrities going to meet him, sponsor my movie, you see them take picture. What did you think you get? You see, let me explain discipline to you here. You know what Nigerians felt? They wanted discipline now in this election. Forget everything we've done. Can I explain it to you? You have an exam in 3 months. Discipline means every day you study for 3 hours. Then the exam comes. Your discipline pays off. You know what we wanted? We have not studied, or we studied sparingly. Then 3 days before the exam, we now become disciplined. How far can that discipline get us? For you to enjoy out of God's, I'm going to read verse 10 again. It says, but God disciplines us for our own good, so that we may share in his holiness. Even to share in God's holiness, God himself has to discipline you. I did not see anything unexpected in the elections. Cry. I did not see anything unexpected. Small thing, Nigerians don't jackpot, they don't do abroad. Then from abroad, they'll be sending updates. Did the Germans run away from Germany? Did the Japanese run away from Japan? Did the Chinese run away from China? The average Nigerian has run away from Nigeria, then is abroad giving updates. You are abroad in a system that your father did not build. Your father built this system. This system we're in, your father built it. Actions and inactions. Causative effect. Cause and effect. Do you realize that at a point when there was war in Japan, they wanted to buy the Japanese emperor? Do you know why they didn't buy him? Because every man in Japan drew his sword. So if they buy their emperor, they go buy with their emperor. They stood at losing millions of people who were ready to buy with their emperor. Are you ready to buy with your emperor? You wait on since. You wait on since. You see. Let's talk. I'm not saying you that stayed did better than you that ran. It's the same mentality you have. My only wonder is the fact that you are expecting a different result from what you got. As it amuse me. You they beat your wife, they cheat on your wife. You know they give her money. You know love her. But you expect your wife to be the best wife on earth. Your expectations need to match your reality. Your expectations have to start becoming married to what you put inside. You cannot plant beans and go and harvest Rolex. Even the people that are harvesting Rolex, it's not beans they planted. Oh. We need to start managing our expectations. All of a sudden, this government is bad, this government is bad. Then we are all disciplined 1 month before election or 6 months before election. The people you want to vote in that are the geniuses, not be rigging they take enter their own office. Wait, let's talk. All your saints that you want, that you believe will fix Nigeria, when they were in politics that year, nobody same system carry them enter. All of a sudden now they want to do system with, come on. The benefits of discipline likened to the light of a star. Let me explain this to you. You look up into the sky and you see a star, right? Who has done that before? You look up into the sky and you see a star. Have you seen that? Have you done that before? You've seen stars before. The light of the sun takes 8 minutes to get to us. Am I working with you? The light of the sun takes 8 minutes to get to us. Let me explain that process. Light is measured in photons. So let's say a photon is coming from the sun to the earth. It will take 8 minutes. So you look out to feel the impact of the sun's photons hitting you. It takes 8 minutes. The light has already reached the earth. So while you are there, light is hitting you steadily because each one is lined up after the other. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. That's how. Do you know there are some stars that are so many light years away that it takes 100 years for their light to reach the earth? Do you know this? Some stars are so far away that it takes 100 years for their light to reach the earth. Now let me break your heart. When that star is formed, you will not see it for 100 years on earth. Then 100 years from now, you will see a big bang, boom, that happened 100 years ago. Because the light is just getting to you today. Am I connecting with you? And also is the opposite. When a star dies and burns out, if it is if the time it reaches, if the time it needs for its light to get to the earth is 100 years, a star that has exploded and gone, you will still see it for the next 100 years. It's no longer there. But because it takes 100 years for its light to get to us, the light of the star you are seeing got to you 100. It took 100 years to get to you. But because it's emitting the light constantly, the light is still coming. So you are looking at many dead stars that have exploded and gone, but they're still there simply because it takes their light this many years to get to earth. That's the same thing with discipline. When you start being disciplined now, you do not enjoy the favors immediately. Ada, please read the book of Hebrews again for me. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 11. Read verse 11 again for me.
11. No discipline is enjoyable while it's happening. It's painful, but afterwards there will be peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way.
There will be peaceful harvest of rightful living. Your LPs were former PDP. What do you think they were doing in PDP? Please tell me, what exactly do you think they were doing in PDP? All of them. From Obi to Badebo, they were all PDPs. What do they do in PDP that they don't do in APC? Up to a year ago, Badebo was still in PDP. Did you know what Jandor said he could not imagine that the PDP, that the godfatherism that he ran away from in APC, he came to meet it. I interviewed him. So what do you expect? What really do you expect? I said, you guys amaze me. You think it can be changed overnight because you want to? Let me tell you, the only thing that changes overnight is following Christ. Your sins are forgiven overnight. The world does not forgive sins overnight. In fact, nature does not forgive sins overnight. We are suffering from global warming because of what we've been doing for the last 20, 30 years. Do you know abroad, you cannot... I'm driving down the streets in Nigeria. Let's talk. And somebody gathers refuse and burns it. If they burn your mama well, all of you when they live abroad, I tell you, they burn. Just gather leaves and sachets and bottles in your backyard and burn it. Just try it. Try it. Someone says you can't be so frustrated and you need discipline, and you say you need discipline. My problem with you, Odogu, is your sense is inside your rectum. Each time you push to expel fecal matter, some particles of your brain are expelled. So because you are suffering, you don't want to be disciplined, you want... Hear yourself. Hear yourself. You are frustrated, so you don't want to be disciplined. Let me give you an example. The other day, I have the video on my TikTok and on my Instagram. We're driving in go slow in Lekki. Traffic light goes red. The Danfo driver jumps out and starts peeing on his tire in traffic. Have you ever seen that before? It's on my TikTok. Ada, have you seen it before? I was in the car with an elderly woman. I'm like, this is so wrong. She said, where do you expect him to wee? I said, you are part of our problem. You are part of our problem. The same place the British government expects you to wee in traffic, that's the same place we expect you to wee. Try it now. You're inside go slow, peace catch you, come out. Just try them. Someone said burning of refuse is punishable by law in the US and Switzerland. That's the only two countries I know about that. Baba, forget that thing. Try it in the UK. No need. Let's do experiment. Just do a bonfire at the back of your house with plastics and all the refuse you find. Record it and put it on TikTok. So we will see the effect. You will see the effect now. Try them. Try it in the UK, I dare you. Try it. That's our problem in this country. We are not disciplined. We reject discipline. But then we want fantastic elections. I'm sitting down and I'm wondering, what I saw yesterday is what I expected. I did not expect any better or any worse. I grew up in this Nigeria, remember? I've witnessed every single election. There's nobody that came into power that I did not witness. All of the elections. Plus the ones PDP won. Plus the ones Obasanjo, I don't remember what party it was. It was like this. I remember how the people were crying that time that it was Falaye they wanted. Meanwhile, it was Obasanjo that won. So what do you expect? You see, if we start being disciplined today, we can reap the effect in 10 years, maybe 20 years, but we are not going to reap it this election. I see some musicians, I know them very well, I know all their dealings. Then all of a sudden now they are angry with the government that they were a part of before. Because this government no favor them. One day my father has made a statement. He said, person when they win election, I sabi rig pass. Say person will win election. Hey, sorry. Now be the person will sabi rig pass. Nigerian election are like oil rig. Now who they like that they give on to? They dead the Jones. They dead the Jones now. You shout, oh, the election was not done like it was done abroad. Do you live the way they live abroad? Do you care for your brother the way they care for your brother abroad? You are calling police now. Let me tell you, if the presidential election, the first person that called me and said, Daddy Freeze, can you see what happened? They have stolen our mandate. That person, I know and where we grew up together. Now 3 different people do Hawaii, 3 different machinery. One person do physics, one person do mathematics, one person do economics. The one who do economics, they nearly catch him. As the one hold on like this, he just tear the question paper, begin to run the whole invigilator, they pursue the guy. Her jam, she no go center. Sorry, the babe. She no go center. Now how she sit down like this, they go do jam for her come. But Bala machinery, you are shouting that they stole somebody's mandate. Mandate where you don't take the work. They take chop money, build house. For the last 30 years, who gets the mandate? Now you. I'm wondering. The second person, this is how I was looking at the person. When the person talk, I ask him, I say, I hope so you remember, say me and you do Jamba and Wayek together. I hope so you remember your story. 3 different people now do Wayek for him. One person do economics. The person will do her physics, no sabi economics. So she brought geniuses. She had A parallel in those courses. Different people. And today you are crying. You built the other guy, one guy collecting babe. He can't go use soldier, go brush the guy. He was now telling me that they wanted to vote, soldiers did not let them vote. I say, the soldier don't work for you now, they pay you. The police that are supposed to be in polling units, nobody then they carry you up and down inside the logs. But then the day you want to vote, you now walk like ordinary citizen, you don't be celeb again. You see, Nigeria needs to wake up. We need to start planting the seeds of the discipline. It must start with our children. I remember when I used to tell my children, I'm raising you people like soldiers. They all kicked against it. I mean, didn't you kick against it? Didn't you say, we don't want to be soldiers? They don't want. You see, nobody wants that discipline. The other day we were driving past MFM. Police sit down, they guard church. I recorded it, I played the video for you. I said they won't go thief Jesus. Wait till they won't go thief for church. Now our mentality. You see, I remember reading the story about General Sani Abacha. According to Al-Mustafa, I stand corrected. Al-Mustafa said that the general was going, as in don't they buy, they go. But at his level, he's not allowed to touch the head of state and he's not allowed to touch the general unless the general says carry me or touch me. So he stand like this, they look, person where they die, they shout, can I touch you?
Why did he not answer? But why did he not answer now?
That's the level of discipline. When the Nigerian army was the Nigerian army, under the generals of the past, you think the way you are misbehaving, that the way you are misbehaving. There was discipline. But in Nigeria today, there is no discipline. How many of you stay in queues? Someone says even Nigerian students coming to study in the UK pay people to do their coursework. Did you see, who was it that I sent? The nurses that were caught again, another set of nurses, fake results. You are saying Tinubu used fake results? Say INEC gave Tinubu fake results. But you are using fake result to work abroad. Let's even talk about people. You know what they call Oriolori? I don't know if they still do it these days in the UK. Oriolori means another person's head. So what it means is, like Yella now, for instance, will go and work with my passport, and then she will pay me 30% or 40% of her salary. So as I did like this as British citizens those days, they don't do any work. They'll just carry 3 of you now, all of you will be, because for instance you are students, so you can only work a certain number of hours. But those hours no reach you chop. So you need to work more. So when you are finished doing your official 20 hours of work, you now come and meet somebody like me who will give you my passport. So the 3 of you will use it to work. You'll be answering my name. Now I don't think it's possible, but those days in the 90s, you are for real Lori Shishe. Someone says, listen to this. C. Henry always says this very dumb thing. All problem is leadership. All problem. This is the dumbest statement I've heard among the very dumb statements I have heard this period. We are talking about the nurses in America. Is the leadership in America problematic too? We are talking of Nigerians using Oriolori to work in the UK. Is the problem the leadership of Nigeria too? At least you are in the UK. Why can't you obey their laws? I'm asking you. The problem is not leadership. The leaders are indisciplined as you are. Let me tell you, are worse than the leaders. The problem is you don't have power. Small power that you have like this, we will grovel at your feet. Ask POS operators. In Port Harcourt today, POS operators are charging 40%. 40%. To collect 10,000 naira, you pay 14,000 naira. People are buying money. You are not telling me it's the government's fault. The government is made by people like you. As a matter of fact, they are less greedy than you are. Fuel applicants, nose mask sellers, hand sanitizer people. Small power like this you will have. I remember when COVID first came out and they said, you need nose mask. They were selling nose mask of 1.5. It went to 2K. I recorded a live video. Go back to my 2020 videos. I got to a place, they were selling it 25K. All of a sudden, you've heard that nose mask is, you just hike your prices. Meanwhile, you did not buy your own at 25K. Your own was at the port, you have cleared it, you have just not sold it yet. Boom.
Remember when you used to make tissue paper masks?
At a point in my house, we used to make tissue paper masks because we could not afford those masks. Do you remember?
Yeah, because they hired.
Do you remember? Do you remember? People were buying sanitizer for 10K. There was scarcity of nose mask. Then they will give people to share palliatives. Do you remember palliatives? People were hoarding palliatives. So you see, in as much as we want better governance, we want better elections, remember, that dying star takes a while before you see it die. Just as that birthing star takes a while to see it being birthed. And like the light of the star is coming to you, I want us to start the disciplinary process now. Because the disciplinary process is like a light of a star in two ways. When you begin to act disciplined, what you're going to do is you are giving birth to good light, and at the same time you are buying bad light. So as the light from the bad star is coming to you, even though it will take 20 years for the light to be extinguished, the same way the light of the good star is coming, and by that 20-year period the bad star explodes and disappears, and the good star explodes and illuminates. Discipline is light. For you to partake in God's holiness, you have to be disciplined. Let's study more. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 6. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 6.
1 Peter 1:6. So be truly glad. There is wonderful joy ahead, even though you have to endure many trials for a little while.
To be truly glad, or so be truly glad. There is wonderful joy ahead, even though you must enjoy many trials for a little while. There is joy ahead. The star has been born today. Too late for this election. This election will happen like every other election. It's too late. Very too late. Don't be angry. I'll tell you what you don't want to hear. Be not angry. But if we begin the process of discipline, a star is born. Somewhere, several light years away. And the light of that star will get to us in 20 years. Maybe a little less. And while the light of the good star is beginning to get to us, the light of the evil that indiscipline has earned us is going to begin to fade away. Even though we'll still see it there, but it is a dying force. Let me tell you something. The voice of the people was very present in this election. It was muffled. It was silenced. But you could hear it. And even the government will never take the people for granted again, especially what they saw. Meaning, the star is already born. It's just going to take a little while as we endure trials. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 6. To walk with God, you are going to endure trials. It's not automatic. It's only in Nigeria that they will tell you that worship God and he will dash you money. The star is born, but you're not going to see the light yet. And until discipline becomes cultural instead of countercultural, we will continue to suffer. Let me break your hearts. I was a little child. I was younger than, I was about Baby Freeze's age in 1983. How old are you? I was exactly 7. I was born in 1976. So I was his age in 1983 when Muhammadu Buhari and Tunde Idiagbon came into power. One of their initiatives was why? Who remembers why? Ada, do you remember why? You can't remember it. War against indiscipline. Exactly 40 years ago, a government came into power led by this same Buhari we have, and they were fighting indiscipline. Let me tell you something. I watched Buhari on Hard Talk where they were drilling him, and they were accusing Buhari of flogging. It's on Hard Talk, the BBC. Do you know during the days of why soldiers used to be at the bus stop to flog people to stay in queues? And the guy was asking, he said, how can you that have fought against democracy by flogging people to stay in queues, how can you become president of the country? And I look at the guy and laugh. I say, Hard Talk, you think everywhere is UK. You don't flog these people, they will not behave. I was never against the flogging. I loved it. Those days you drop paper on the floor, you will do frog jump. If that star had lived for 20 years, today we'll have good elections. I remember seeing a woman in her dress and her high heels doing frog jump. With her perm, that time there was no human hair. They will perm your hair. Who knows perming? Have you done perming before? You done perming before? You have. With her perm hair and her red nails, she was doing frog jump. I could not believe it. In her heels, the soldier said, don't remove your shoe. You will do it. She be allowed to throw. What happened? She threw a piece of paper out of her car window. Now the soldiers catch her. With tears in her eyes, mucking up her makeup and her perm hair, looking like a Yamatanga. She was doing the frog jump. Today, if they tell you to do frog jump as a woman, you will carry your phone. Help me! Today, not Instablog, G's lover. They made me do frog jump. It's abuse. Now I'm waiting with the church now. They will never say what they did. The soldier came and flogged me. We lived during that period. Every Saturday, I remember, they're not born where making no clean your neighborhood. The governor would drive around the town himself with Boy Scouts and man of war and police. They go, That time, remember, they will dig out gutter and put it by the side of the gutter. Who remembers? You were not born. But guess what? They came. Environmental sanitation every Saturday. You cannot go anywhere. You must wake up and clean your neighborhood. Who remembers environmental? Ada, you must have met sanitation now. Did you meet sanitation?
They still do it in some parts of Nigeria.
That's where it started from. 1983. Muhammadu Buhari, that's where it started from. Why? War against indiscipline. And Nigerian celebs, those days, were contracted to do the jingles. I remember what was that guy's name? Sam Loco. Sam Loco acted the first skits that they showed for war against indiscipline. Where people were running, there is war, there is war. What kind of war? War against indiscipline. In the 70s, it was even worse. There's what you are called wole wole in the 1970s. You know what wole wole used to do?
Yes.
What they used to do?
They used to flog people to enter line, bus line.
No. What did wole wole do? What does wole wole mean? What does ile mean? House. This is the only one that understands language. What does wole mean? Eh? Wo, look. Wagomi. Look at my watch. Wole. Good. So wole means look house, literally. So they used to come and look at people's houses. They will enter your house and see if your sanitary conditions are up to par. In the 70s,
That's invasion of privacy.
Invasion of. Let me break your heart. In the UK, you get the way your pikin go dress, go school, they will come look your house. UK people, you get the way your child will look in school, they will come and check your living conditions. Hello? Someone said my grandfather was one. Wole. We did away with it. Why? Environmental sanitation. We did away with it. Do you know during Buhari and Idiagbo's time, they caught some dealers of substance. That's when they started firing squad. They used to gather at the beach. Baba, if they had allowed those people to walk in 1983, forget this old Buhari that we have now, Buhari of 1983. If they allowed him to walk, oh my goodness. I remember how they used to do firing squad for people they catch with drug at the bar beach. Who remembers that period? Then 419 yahoos were given life imprisonment. There was one Maduka lady, if I remember, if her name was something Jennifer or something. Ask them. Not this one that they will arrest you in one corner and release you on the park. That was the star that we didn't allow to be born. The star of discipline. And you see, it's like light and darkness. In the beginning, God was in the darkness. Or why did he say, let there be light? There can only be light if there's darkness. If there was already light, you will not need more light. Let there be light because there was darkness. And as the light came, what happened to the darkness? Ada, when light comes,
It eliminates the darkness, eliminates the place.
what happens to the darkness?
It goes off because the light illuminates the area.
That is why I teach my people that Christ is the Lucifer, the one who brought light. Because in the beginning, God said, let there be light out of the darkness. And as light comes, it extinguishes darkness. So if we have a star of discipline born today, as its light is coming to earth, the light of indiscipline will begin to perish. No matter how powerful the indiscipline is, no matter how long the indiscipline has been on for, the moment the light of discipline comes on, it begins to extinguish the darkness of indiscipline. Nigeria, we have a journey ahead of us. What I got from my previous relationship is not what I'm getting from my current relationship. Because I also had the issues in my former relationship that I did not bring into my current relationship. If what I did in my former relationship, I did the same way in my current relationship, I will get the same results. I'm not saying I was bad. I'm just saying my ex and I were not meant to be together, and the actions we took led to the decay. And there's some of those behavioral patterns that I made sure I did not bring into my new relationship, because I saw the effects in the former relationship. You want a new Nigeria? Are you ready to work for it? Discipline is not nice. Nobody enjoys it. Now me talking. Now Paul talking inside Bible. But you know now, discipline isn't nice. But until we're ready to be disciplined, until we're ready to live together, I don't see, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again, why can't an Igbo man whose father is Igbo and mother is Igbo be governor of Lagos State? Why not? Forget the one where mama na Igbo and papa na Lagosian. The one where mama na Igbo, in papa na Igbo, in grandpa na Igbo, but he has lived and contributed to the socio-economic growth of Lagos State for 30 years or for 20 years. Why can't he be governor? Because all our voting on both sides is done. With ethnic and religious sentiments. Those ones coming, they are making it look like they want Igbos to come and take over. Those ones staying are fighting Igbos that don't want. If those ones that own Lagos are receptive, and those ones coming are coming in love, why not? Why not? But as long as we continue playing the ethnic and religious cards, it can never happen. We are Nigerians, not Igbo or Yoruba. Our cultures and traditions are meant for the beautification and the longevity of our lineage. They are not meant to play a single role in politics. There was tribalism abroad too. Go and read the history of the Scottish, the Irish, and the British. They don't like themselves. Have you read anything about the Scottish? Have you read anything about the Scottish and the Irish? That's your assignment. Okay, you are doing an exam. That's your assignment. I want you and yours too. I want you to read about the Scottish, the Irish, and the English. Amarachi, do you know anything about the Scottish, the Irish, and the English?
I know some things about the British.
Eh? Eh?
I know something about the British.
There was a time in the 90s when there was the IRA. That is something like today's IPOB. When the Irish used to wear things that do bola. I don't want to use the word, so they will not demonetize. Yes, not even demonetize. They will not, what's that word? Shadow ban. The Good Friday Agreement, God bless you. Do you know there was a time when Irish people used to wear backpack and they would come and do bola? Someone said they were worse than IPOB. Oh yes, we know history. And I'm talking of 90s, oh, I was alive then, oh. What do you want to say?
You know, back then, British was one of the strongest nations. It was almost one half of America today.
They owned half of America. Yes, they were very strong. You are right.
And they even owned India as a whole for the time until Japan defeated.
So where we are in Nigeria today is not strange, it's not uncommon, it's not bad. It is the evolution of society. There will always be IPOBs, there will always be Boko Harams. Our society is evolving. We cannot expect to get what the Americans got. Americans got their independence how many years ago? Yes, we are moving slow if we compare ourselves to Dubai, to Singapore, to South Korea. Because Singapore got their independence 5 years after us. South Korea got their independence 3 years before we did. The same year with Ghana. But we also cannot compare ourselves to the Americans. I want to talk a little bit more, but I want us to read some more scriptures. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 1. Ada, read with me. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 1.
Proverbs 12:1. To learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction.
To learn, you must love discipline. That is why your course in college is called a discipline. Medicine is a discipline. Do you know? What's your discipline? What? What's your discipline? What's your discipline? Eh? Said onion. What's your discipline? Minecraft. What is my discipline?
Work.
Sociology. Someone said computer science. What is your discipline? For you to learn, you must be disciplined. I used to wonder those days. Who knows what they call in local parlance when they say untate? You know what ate is? Like what these malams have in Ibadan then. It was women that used to have those little shops where you can buy super glue, you can buy soft drinks, ate. You can buy razor blade, all the little things, sponge, soap. It's like a mini supermarket made out of wood. It's like a kiosk, but you can't really call it a corner shop. It's not a corner shop. It's a kiosk-ish shop that's made out of wood. To learn ate, people literally used to go and study for 3 years. And I used to wonder, you buy razor blade for 5 naira. Does your brain not tell you to sell it for 6 naira? Let me tell you something. Not only are you going to learn how to arrange the ate or the little wooden kiosk, you are going to learn how to get the cheapest supplies. You are going to learn what to stock in a particular neighborhood and when to stock it. You are going to learn how much of your income is profit and how much more should go into the business. You'll be amazed that if you don't study it for 3 years, you will run that business and it will fail. Growing up in Arimo, we used to have triplets, Yameta. They used to sell this kind of, the other was more of a corner piece. There's nothing that you're looking for that you don't find in their shop. Someone said a table that has a roof. You learn negotiation. Go back. Anything that you are going to do and do well, you must be disciplined. Let us talk about, let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 20. 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 20.
First Timothy 1:20. 18:20. Okay. Hymenaeus and Alexander are 2 examples. I threw them out and handed them over to Satan so that they might learn not to blaspheme God.
So Paul actually speaks of handing people over to Satan for misbehaving. And it's not a one-off. Please read 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 5.
First Corinthians 5:5. I read, then you must throw this man out and hand him over to Satan, so that his sinful nature will be destroyed, and he himself will be saved on the day the Lord returns.
So I've given you 2 instances where Paul says, I threw these people to Satan. Throw this man to Satan. Those days, excommunication from the church was such a serious thing that they believe you lose your salvation the moment you're handed over to Satan by being excommunicated from the church. You have pastors that should be handed over to Satan personally, not literally, not metaphorically, like Paul is saying. There are some that you're supposed to go and find Satan's house and carry the geo with you like this and knock on Satan's door and say, Baba, now then, you are gathering in their churches. They spew hate. They spew from their altars. They spew nonsense. They are supposed to have been excommunicated since, but you know what? They are part of the gangrene, the gangrena in Greek. Adaobi, I haven't called you that in a while. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 17. Second Timothy chapter 2 and verse 17.
2 Timothy 2:17. Give me a moment. Alright. This kind of talk spreads like cancer, as in the case of Hymenaeus and Philetus. They have left the path of truth claiming that the resurrection of the dead has already occurred. In this way, they have turned some people away from the faith.
This kind of talk spreads like Ada,
It's
verse 17. This kind of talk spreads like.
answer.
If you read it in the original Greek Bible, it doesn't say cancer, it says gangrena, gangrene. Gangrene is what happens when a wound becomes infected and necrosis takes place. The cells start to die. Like that lady we helped with her leg. She has gangrene among the many, and the gangrene can also become cancer, and the gangrene can also lead to rot and amputation and even loss of life and limb. Why? What was he saying? What was Paul saying? He said they have departed from the truth. They say that the resurrection has already taken place, and they destroy the faith of some. That's the same way they came and told you, if you don't pay tithe, you will not make heaven. That means the thief on the cross that Christ said, you will be with me in paradise, did not make heaven, because he did not remember to rush down to Nigeria, to one of the many branches of our Daddy Gio's church, to pay his tithe. They have messed with the message. They are in bed, literally and metaphorically, with your politicians. Your politicians are giving them and they are giving back. And then you want a disciplined country. Are your pastors disciplined? Are your religious leaders disciplined? Someone says, Daddy Freeze, do you have receipts? It's like your eye is blind and your brain is dead. Okponu, can't you see? Are you not hearing them? Nigeria has 10 churches on every street and we cannot do ordinary election. 10 churches on every street. Man, they should close the churches and use them as polling booths. At least they will be useful. They should use them as polling booths. Look around you. Does Nigeria have the... You see, when you're a beautiful girl, you know what? Mention one of the fruits of a beautiful girl. Ada Blessing, you are beautiful, so you know. Yella, you are beautiful, so you know. Amarachi, babe, you are beautiful. Give me a fruit of a beautiful girl. A fruit is like, how do I put it? One of the advantages, yes, it can be a fruit. One of the things that comes.
Getting what they want.
Getting what they want. Someone said free rent in Admiralty. Well, it's not exactly free, but you get the rent. But it's not really free. You will pay for it.
But I think just being liked by people. Yeah, people just like you.
People just like you. You have many toasters, right? You have many compliments.
Yeah.
You can skip the line when it's time to buy food.
They'll really give it to you for everything.
Well, yeah.
Do you understand? If you cry, everybody will run. Oh, what happened?
Who believed you?
Right?
Yeah, you get lots of gifts.
Good. Now, let us talk about the fruits of 5 to 10 churches on every street. Mention the fruits. Oh yeah, guys, 1 second. Mention the fruits. Yella has mentioned one fruit, said traffic.
A fruit of what?
5 to 10 churches on every street. Listen, are we more righteous than the ungodly? Are we more righteous? Let me tell you something here. I was watching a video about prisoners. I think I sent it to you. in one country. They say they live in 5-star hotel. Say prisoner, they say the only thing is that the prisoner must sleep in his cell. That he can go out as he likes. It wasn't Netherlands. What country was it? I sent it to you, Ada.
Florida. Is it Florida?
Of course not.
Yeah, you did. I think it was Netherlands or Switzerland. I think
It was a European country.
I think Netherlands. I can't remember the country. But
They said their family can come and visit them, that they have lodges, their family can come and spend the weekend with them because they want them to be happy so that they can go back into the world. There was one guy who bought 2 women. If you see in room fine past my room. I sent it to you, Ada, now. Finland!
9 to 5 job, regular.
They do 9 to 5 job. Finland or Norway. Now, do you realize that Finland and Norway are all these, louder, Dutch country? Yes, and they are also former Viking territories. See the fruit of Viking. Are we richer than countries that don't worship any God? Quiet. Are we richer than countries that don't worship any God? Scandinavian countries, thank you. Are our countries more developed than countries that don't have God? Are our elections better than countries that don't have God? Countries that don't go to church like we go to, our elections, are they better than their own? Do our wives respect marriage more than the wives of those who worship statues and are pagans? Nigerian women were voted the most promiscuous. Una go one disagree. But
We are our men as well, but
no. Our men and it's just that this particular one was told. Of course, our men are worse than our women, but our women are bad. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Let me continue. Second to Jamaica, paternity fraud. Nigeria is number 2 in the world. Nigeria has more paternity fraud per capita than Netherlands, where prostitution is a source of income that pays tax to the government. So with all our church and all our God, we are not even more righteous than the ungodly. We are poorer than the ungodly. We are suffering more than the ungodly. Our life expectancy rate is one of the lowest in the world. So what are the fruits of 10 churches on every street? My daughter was right. Traffic, noise, rowdiness. Paul says, you cannot enjoy the holiness of God if you are not disciplined. I want to add to Paul's statement. You cannot enjoy the benefits of the land if you are indisciplined. I'll take this a little further. In 1968, all the way through 1973, a series of experiments with rodents was done by a guy called Callum. It was called the Universe 25 experiment. And it showed that even with abundant food and water, personal space is essential to prevent societal collapse. You look at Nigeria, everybody congregates to where there is food and there are resources. Lagos, rivers, Onitsha, Kaduna, And it will get to a point where if the resources start to dwindle, we are going to get into a lot of problems. And even if the resources don't dwindle, we will begin to fight one another for space. We have also gotten to this point. And that is why more than ever before, we need discipline. We need discipline right now. The average Nigerian, I've told my children, I don't want to hear that any of you has more than two children. I don't want to hear it. If you guys like and know what's good for you, have one child. Where are you populating to? Someone said, the Bible said, they will read Genesis, be fruitful and multiply. It's like you are dense. Who did the Bible say it to? Did the Bible say it to Nigerians that are already overpopulated? The Bible said it to Adam and Eve, who are presumed to be the only two people on earth. They needed to be fruitful. They needed to multiply. When Noah survived the flood, he needed to be fruitful. He needed to multiply. You only need to be fruitful. No need for you to multiply again. Where are you multiplying to? Where are you people multiplying to? You, where are you multiplying to? Costa Rica. It's not only Costa Rica. Someone said God will take care of the children. Like he has taken care of Nigeria's children. Have you not seen how God took care of them? Oh, he did such a fantastic job.
But if you have the resources, I don't see no problem with that.
My problem is, let's not make it resource-based. Because if everybody has this thing I'm talking about, who remembers Miriam Babangida says 4 children per woman? If we had listened then, we would not be where we are now. Miriam Babangida made a whole fuss about family planning, like the woman was a genius. Nigerians did not hear word. The star that should have been born then, we should have been reaping it now. Let me tell you something here. My former boss that owned Cool FM, he had just 2 daughters. That's all. Billionaire, 2 daughters. Then I remember one guy at the gate had 8 children. Gate man, 8 children. Working for billionaire with 2 daughters. Stop burning children up and down. When I no go hear word. As I look at that one born 6. No worry. For this Gen Z way they go. Baba, if school fees they come like this, it be like something can run hide inside cupboard. You born 2 children, you know what your eye go see. Come and say you get 4 children. Nobody will teach you unless you want to keep them inside local school. When school fees is $500,000 on the island minimum, good school is $500,000. By the time you add 1 or 2 things, they go like 750. That's how much we pay for our 7-year-olds and our children in university and in secondary school. When school fees don't reach like this, your eye could nearly fall come out for inside socket. Then now to be having many children up and down. Please take care of the children that you have and teach them discipline. I'm not saying flog them. Oh, come on, yeah, discipline. Oh, that's true. Those days when we were growing up, they used to flog us down for offense we would never commit. They don't flog you. What did I do? It looks like you want to go out without telling us where you are going. But I'm not gonna. I can see you are trying to. Sometimes they will just flog us down. Want to say, make we not even think. Say one. I remember one day, I deal with my grandma. One child was rude to the grandmother. This thing has happened to many of us growing up in the 80s before. I said, just the watch. I just look my grandma, she just pinch my ear. You to try it. In Romania those days, my grandmother, she would just hobble like this into the shop. As she's walking, she's just saying in milk, butter, 1 kilogram of apples. Don't let me get to the counter before you get there. Baba, as you enter the shop like this, bidi, 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 bidi. You go, they're not born you where make she reach counter. Don't let me get to the counter before you. That way you go enter shop, you go they look fish, you go they look things very nice. Oh, we. For Naija, anybody will go Quranic school where they call Ilekeu, you must learn discipline. Now hosts, the teachers for Ilekeu, they call them Malim. Malim will all roll hosts give you, because you are supposed to be reading your Quran and you all look at another person they talk. Now, for the side of your neck, you just hear the host. Baba, you know, even talk, say, wait till you do, you go just adjust. Everybody will come laugh you. We used to have one teacher in secondary school, Mr. Owusu. Hey, Owusu has BSc or BA from Teacher Training College and PhD in caning. He is now Dr. Owusu, the doctorate now from caning. If Owusu cane you, your life will align. It will be like motorway they do alignment for. You will just begin to drive straight. As it will give you 6 strokes in 3 seconds. Pop, 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 pop. Then you would like it. Then like 1 minute later the cry will come out. As if they never beat you before make you find cry. Have you ever beaten you like that to find cry? You?
And you just excuse yourself to go.
Have they ever beaten you before? You are looking for the cry, there's no cry. You don't do it before. Baba,
and you know, excuse yourself to go to the toilet.
then as you remember your head, they will give you the final wiping for your back. Tell her, hey. The kid just as in. But today you send your pikin go school. They say, give me your hand. They give her with ruler. They go, hey, they beat me in school. The mama go there, go burn the whole school. Let me tell you something. When I was doing my WAEC, I saw parents of life. Parents where they pay mercenary for their children to go and do exam for them. As in, anyway, trust my father, Demola. If Demola knows, say, you use mercenary, he go beat the mercenary, lock you. So, you know, even if you go meet my papa, say, daddy, they say, make I bring money for mercenary. As in, it's not even a conversation. But my friends' mates, their parents were paying, I know some of their mothers, they came together and hired university students to sit for exam for their children. Those mothers are old now. Those children are old enough to vote and they have children and they are crying that they stole their mandate. You and your mama pay for mercenary for you, they cry. Those who that won the election, their mothers' mercenaries too that help them. We need to start realizing that discipline is lacking in this country. Our people lack discipline. Our children lack discipline. Those days, you are not allowed to eat until you had your bath. Children, if they don't go out till 7 p.m. in the night, they will be walking around the house, they will not have had their bath. Once you wake up in the morning, whether you are going out or not, you go first go bath. Discipline. I know some people that wake up 5 a.m., go for 6 a.m. mass, or go to 5:30 the mosque, go to the golf course by 6:30, play 1 hour of golf, shower and resume in the office by 8:30. Every day of their life like that.
Oh,
Regimented.
yeah. So that's saying
I'm not good with that. So maybe me too, I need some.
you need some-
But you see, people who are, I'll give you my dad for instance. My dad will not eat sugar for 1 month. He will not eat anything that has sugar. He does not drink soft drink. He does not drink, my dad is one of the most disciplined people I've met in my life. He does not eat. If you tell my father, if you eat this thing, it's not good for you, he will not eat it. Me. As I dey chop, my belly dey full. I don't dey think of the next food. I don't dey think of the next food. Ada is just like me. Ada is thinking of the next food as she wants to start this food. She don't dey think the next food. I say, as I dey chop this pounded yam, good make I chop suya this night. Our pastors lack discipline, our lecturers lack discipline, our parents that were disciplined did not enforce the discipline in us. We lost it somewhere along the line. And we also need love. So I end my message today. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for the amazing message.
I love you guys. And I want you to know that we can get results that are different from the ones we're getting. I want you to know that we can get different results. If we start now, in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, we will begin to reap the fruit of what we invested. Salahuddin says, be careful with food. Do intermittent fasting. I try as much as possible. Can you say that I've not added it? Have I added it? You are the wrongest person to ask because you always want to run me down. Come, have I added it? Have I added it? You are not, I don't even trust you people. But I'm working very hard. I only eat on Sundays. What do I eat during the week? I just eat a meal a day. Then at night, I just nibble on something small. Asun, small now. Beer only during the week. Pepper snail only during the night. I don't eat jollof rice at night.
The prawns that you take from me.
The prawns I took from you.
Yes.
Did I not give you?
No, then you took the last prawn again.
How can I give you all my prawns? I give you one of my prawns.
For all of my steak.
But I didn't eat all of your steak. I left some for the other ones. So yes. I just eat something like peppered snail or asun or at night. No, I've stopped eating swallow. And you have to start reduce. Yesterday I reduced my swallow. The swallow was so nice. That pounded yam I ate it. But you notice even rice. I only eat rice on weekends. Then have you noticed I don't eat meat during the week? It's just that we killed a ram. My neighbors and I came together. We bought a ram and we grilled it. And all the children on Friday. So we all came out. We had a lot of fun. You know, but that is a one-off.
Boss, you said you don't eat often. Do you know how many times I walk past that restaurant and they'll tell me, your father was here? I'm like, okay.
Which restaurant? Chocolate Royale.
I don't want to go on the streets. That's one.
Chocolate Royale. I go there from time to time. I just go there from time to time.
That sounds like a denial.
I'm not denying. Listen, I also believe that eating is a family affair. So I like taking my family out. If not for the fact that this particular holiday was election holiday, normally I always take my family out to at least one restaurant. We'll sit down, we'll eat. Is there any movie that is even trending? Let's go and watch a movie, guys. Why? We have Netflix. No, we're going to watch a movie together. We're going to sit down here and watch it. Now you're like, hey, do you want to watch a movie? Cinema. Don't go out with your friends. No, you go out with us. Cinema? You don't want cinema. Do you want cinema?
No, thank you.
Why don't you like cinema?
We want to-
Good. We are all going to the cinema, whether you want it or not. Eh? You just want pizza? Okay, we'll have pizza when we come from the cinema. No pizza in this house again until we go to the cinema.
Okay.
See punishment though. Make they hear no pizza until we go to the cinema. We dey beg them to go cinema now because they rather hang out with their friends.
Boys look filthy.
Sometimes hanging out with you is not like it's boring. It makes us cold.
Say cinema. Come, do you go to the cinema with your parents?
We are plenty.
No, I cannot. I can't even go with you. If your phone rings, every day you Baba that they face, you look at it. Who is calling you Ada? Ada, who is calling? Let me see that picture. How do you go out with someone like that?
No, I don't check your phone. Do I check your phone? When you misbehave, yes. I don't check my children's phones. I just say put that phone away if we're in the cinema.
Pick your call. Ada, pick that call. I'm like, nah.
So if you think about it,
Huh?
there's actually nothing to do other than sit down and watch.
So you don't like cinema?
I like it, but
For what?
mostly all that we do there is just collect snack and watch movies.
We'll have this discussion when we are done. We are going to the cinema, whether people like it or not.
When?
It's by force.
When are we going to the cinema?
Once they release election result and we see that everywhere is calm, we'll go to the cinema. Eh? No, don't worry. You still have. Nobody buy your ticket. You still have some time before you go to the school. We'll go to the cinema. Eh? We have to go and watch at least one movie. No, Netflix doesn't show new movies. We are going to the cinema. Which new movies does it show? You are very good. No. Movies that Netflix produces. So don't worry.
If we go, I'm going out with my friend.
Huh? Not this holiday. When you come back and election matter goes down.
So what? So if they start shooting now, you
I
don't get
can.
with your stomach?
Yes, I'm smart enough to save you.
So we go on that
You'll be
one.
teaching us how to save ourselves. That's to make sure you save us.
Don't worry. By Wednesday we will know.
I see how.
See our cinema cause argument. They don't know. They don't know what's in the days. And then they go cinema. Yes. Yes, no. Who has exam? Oh yeah, you have exam, so the rest of us go.
I also
Who come back? Who open house for her?
Fingerprint.
But we need to make lunch and everything for her.
She will cook indomie. All right, guys. God bless you all. Lovely hanging out with you today. Remember, discipline is key. All of you, discipline is key. Huh? Discipline is key. If you don't pass your exams because you are not disciplined, beat the indisciplined people in this house. Who said you are not disciplined?
I like a schedule. I like a schedule.
You like a schedule.
I like schedule. I like spontaneity.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Lovely hanging out with you. Remember once again, Igbo people are welcome in Lagos. Igbo people are loved in Lagos, respected. There's a place for you guys. There's a place in politics for you guys. We love you. Don't let them spark any ethnic crisis among Nigerians and greater still Lagosians. Okay? Ada, you have to join. The day we are going to the cinema, we will invite you to. Do you want to come?
Okay, miss you? Or just the kids? No.
All of us.
With the kids, yes.
We just me, no. You are teaming up with them.
That's with the kids.
No problem. No problem. No problem. Be disciplined though. So you not come and cry next election. Start the discipline now. All of you. What do you want from Nigeria? Want it first from the reflection you see each time you glance in the mirror. It's very important. I love you guys. We'll talk later. Earlier on, we're talking about the initiative to sponsor 2 people to Range Rover Doctors Mechanic Initiative. It costs 300,000 per person. Someone sent a donation of 100K. So we're looking for 600K. I'll announce during the week how we're going to raise the funds. And I'll also announce, we'll also go through a process of recruiting the people who should benefit from this initiative. Listen, it's gonna be very hard. Let me warn you. Monday morning throughout Saturday, for 3 straight months, you're gonna learn how to be a mechanic. And not just any kind of mechanic, a luxury mechanic that works on Range Rovers, BMWs, Mercedes-Benz, etc. So it would be very good, not just for the people who want to bring donations, but if you're also interested, we'll talk all about this and let you know. So far, someone said, make the Range Rover Doctor beat the price out. That's the cheapest. Nothing good. I will keep saying it. You're not going to get anything good for anything less. So the lady who contributed the 100,000 naira, her name is Modupe. And we're trying to raise 600K, so more like we're trying to raise 500K now. So I'm going to have a conversation with Range Rover Doctor, and it's very important that one person enjoys this privilege. It's a privilege to go and learn something new. You can be a graduate, and if you don't understand, as long as you're dedicated, we can also go through extramurals and all that to help boost your physics, chemistry, and biology. They're going to teach you, so it's going to be good. Okay, so we're sponsoring 2 people to Range Rover Doctors Academy. We'll let you know all about it. If you're interested in sponsoring, send me a DM or send me an email to freecoolfm@yahoo.co.uk. freezecoolfm@yahoo.co.uk. If you're interested in sponsoring, please, if you want to be sponsored, wait first. Nigerians like contributing orphans to orphanages. Please, first of all, we need money to feed the orphans. So don't contribute an orphan, contribute money first. Then we'll talk about the orphans later. Take care, guys. God bless you. Natural Gambia, I see you. Simply Vic, Remy. Ada, thank you for reading the scriptures. Discipline is so important scripturally, like was mentioned over and over again, New Testament. And if that thing is lacking, what are all our churches doing? Oh yeah, thank you all. Henry the Great, God bless you. God bless your wonderful child. Thank you all so much. Take good care of yourselves. Esther Omoruyi, take care. Ebiere, take care. God bless you all.